Coming up on Sportsource, we'll take a look at how Clark Central junior Henry Payne's scorching start to the season is helping the Gladiators' undefeated start to the season, how the striker is stepping into a bigger leadership role this year. Then we'll dive into how pitching has evolved over the past 15 years and how it's impacting the ways coaches, programs, and players are developing pitching at the high school level. Plus, 10 Bulldogs made the trip to Indianapolis for the biggest job interviews of their life. Welcome to this week's edition of Sportsource. I'm your host, Jaden Jones. Today we'll dive into Clark Central's red-hot squad and learn more from one of their best players. We'll also hear from UGA baseball star and the key to his hot start this season, as well as one athlete who has just made history for his school. Plus, we have an inside look into former UGA football players' experiences at the NFL Combine that you don't want to miss. Soccer season is well underway across Georgia, and Clark Central High School is already making noise. The Gladiators are off to a perfect 5-0 start this season, thanks in large part to junior striker Henry Payne. Payne has been on a scoring tear earlier this season and has established himself as one of the most dangerous players in all of 5A. Sportsource reporter Evan Kane has more on the story.
Jaden, Henry Payne's numbers this season have been nothing short of staggering. The Gladiators frontman has had no trouble finding the back of the net this season, scoring 12 goals in just 5 games so far. After winning Region 8 5A Player of the Year as a sophomore, Payne has already proven himself as one of the top attacking players in the state. But this year, Payne says his focus isn't just on scoring goals. As one of the team's upperclassmen, he's stepping into a larger leadership role for a Clark Central squad with big expectations this season. Clark Central junior striker Henry Payne has been nearly unstoppable to start the season. With 12 goals in the Gladiators' first 5 games, Payne has quickly established himself as one of the most dangerous attacking players in Region 8 5A. But while the goals may grab attention, Payne says his success starts with the players around him.
I think just my chemistry with the team and knowing the team well, I can connect with them, and they know where to find me, and they know how to get me set up to score goals. And then I think just my own ability to find spaces and find shots and just get it in the back of the net has given me success.
For Payne, scoring goals is only part of the equation. He says the movement and effort of his teammates often create the opportunities that allow him to finish.
Well, they can do many things. They can draw defenders away from me by checking in or making a run. They can support me when they have the ball or I have the ball, making runs, checking in for me, and building up with passes with me.
But the biggest change in Payne's game this season hasn't come from his finishing ability. According to head coach Chris Aiken, it's the way Payne has grown into a leader for the Gladiators.
So something that's really unique for him this year that's kind of really also stood out is his ability to motivate teammates and encourage people. Obviously, he plays for a very elite club team. He's an elite talent himself. And so sometimes those players, those star players, are kind of individual, isolated talents and kind of look out for themselves. But he's been a great team player this year. He's very supportive of his teammates, very encouraging at practice, very uplifting.
That leadership has become even more important after Clark Central graduated a strong senior class last season.
So coming into this season, we were looking for who was going to kind of fill that role. We knew what talent Henry would bring on the field at practice, etc. But he stepped into a nice vocal leadership role this season and has been kind of a key piece behind the scenes, keeping the team functioning.
Payne says setting the tone for the team starts with intensity at practice and supporting teammates when things get difficult.
Well, I try to get us to practice with intensity, and I try to limit the messing around. I mean, it's good sometimes, and having fun is good, but we definitely need to lock in most of the time and stay focused. So I try to help with that, but I'm always supporting teammates and trying to build them up. If they put their head down, I want them to put their head back up and get their mindset right. So I'm big on that.
And when Payne's time at Clark Central eventually comes to an end, he says the goals won't be the most important part of his legacy.
Just a great teammate, a fun teammate, but just a good teammate who would support the team and provide for the team and be able to score goals and help us win big games. I would say that's what I want to be remembered as.
While the goals have certainly helped fuel Clark Central's undefeated start, Payne says the biggest growth this season has come in how he leads his teammates on and off the field. If that leadership continues to develop, the Gladiators believe this group has what it takes to compete for a state title. Back to you, Jaden.
Coming up on Sportsource, we'll take a look at the evolution of pitching over the past 15 years, thanks to the development of advanced analytics and how that's changed the way pitchers are developing starting at the high school level. And later, the Georgia Bulldogs' hottest hitter was on the verge of school history. We speak with Trey Phelps on his approach at the plate. Also, stick around at Sportsource as Harrison Reno was on the scene in Indianapolis as Georgia football once again took over the NFL Scouting Combine. Welcome back to Sportsource. Pitching at every level of baseball has gone through major changes over the past 15 years, thanks to the development of new technologies. But how has that changed the way pitchers are developing, and how early have those changes in pitching development started to be implemented? Sportsource reporter Bridget Ramirez visited North Oconee's high school baseball team to see the evolution of pitching has impacted their program.
Thanks, Jaden. There's no question that pitching has rapidly evolved over the past 15 years due to the development of new technologies and advanced analytics. We've seen an increase in velocity, as well as the diversity of different pitches being thrown at every level of baseball, from MLB to high school. In the majors, four-seam fastball velocity has steadily increased from 92.2 miles per hour in 2010 to 94.2 in 2023. And the number of major league pitches clocked at 100 miles per hour or faster has more than tripled in just 3 years, from 2019 to 2023. Outside of velocity, MLB pitchers are both throwing a greater number of different pitches and using more balanced mixes of those pitches than ever before. The number of pitchers throwing 5 or even 6 plus types of pitches reached an all-time high in 2025, and those pitchers are throwing those 5 or 6 pitches at a relatively balanced rate. College baseball has followed similar trends. Between just 2022 and 2025, average exit velocities at the Division I level climbed from 82.5 miles per hour to 86.1. And the average 90th percentile exit velocity surged from 96.5 miles per hour to just under 102. While the four-seam fastball is getting faster, use of other types of pitches in college baseball is also increasing. From just 2022 to 2025, the number of four-seam fastballs fell by 49%, while slider sweeper usage increased by 29%. While this increase in velocity and pitch diversity can be easily seen through the data at the professional and collegiate levels, it starts in baseball development. To learn more about how this rapid evolution has impacted pitching development at the high school level, I visited the North Oconee high school baseball team.
The North Oconee baseball team is not only one of the best teams in the state of Georgia, but also one of the top programs in terms of coaching staff and player development. The Titans are currently 8-1, 1/3 of the way through the regular season, and the coaching staff were named the Region Coaching Staff of the Year for the 2025 season. Head coach Eric Bounds has been coaching high school baseball for 20 years and at North Oconee for the past 10, and has seen many changes in high school baseball pitching throughout that time.
First started high school coaching, there was a lot of static drills that we did. I think a lot of it now started to move around that 2010 era into more athletic pitchers, where we're just trying to develop guys to be more athletic. And in doing that, then they become harder throwers, which obviously everybody is looking for. And then the pitch mix, that has really evolved with understanding how pitches work. And a lot of that's come from the data that's being collected as far as, we have TrackMan and, Rapsodo and some of these other technologies that actually can help you to see, okay, here's how my pitch worked on that one. Okay, how is that different from if I change my finger or I change my grip or I change my the way I'm trying to release the ball? All those things kind of come into play now where we can actually see that and take a look at it and go, okay, that's how that differed from this. And you can see it with your eye, but now here's how you actually made it work using that technology.
North Oconee is one of just 5 high school teams in Georgia who uses TrackMan baseball ball tracking technology along with Rapsodo, which allows them to better analyze and develop their pitchers.
Most of the fall, we're using Rapsodo for just trying to develop pitches, and then we'll come out here during the fall a little bit and try and develop. But during games where we've got TrackMan running, so we know what guys are doing.
If I'm pitching live, I'm always on TrackMan or on Rapsodo. Even the bullpens now, we usually get Rapsodo out when I throw.
As for velocity development, Coach Bounce has seen an increase in velocity by top high school pitchers across the board over the past 20 years.
When we started, probably in 2006, I feel like the average pitcher that threw for us was 82 or 83. Right now we have our top 2 starters are up there around 90 or 90 plus. So it's a drastic change from 2006.
One of those starters, junior right-handed pitcher and University of Central Florida commit Ryan Trout, averages 89 miles per hour with a top speed of 92, an increase of almost 10 miles per hour since he entered high school.
Going into high school, I think I was topping 81, sitting 78, so probably 10 miles per hour since I've got here.
And Trout plans to only get faster.
I would love to get up to 93, 94 when the summer gets a little hot. So that'd be awesome. Just keep the ERA down, preferably under like 1.5.
Despite the increase in velocity across high school pitching, the fastball remains the dominant pitch thrown.
Still at the high school level, you can get a lot of guys out with just a fastball, but the higher you go, every level, you just have less room for error. Like I said, velocity plays no matter what level you're at. So that's one of the things that we look at, but it's not the only thing. I think the biggest thing for us at the high school level, and I think no matter how hard your guys throw, is you've got to throw strikes.
Most high school pitchers throw 3 pitches consistently, but throw a fastball around half the time.
I only have 3 pitches. I have a fastball, curveball, change. Fastball in high school probably 70% of the time, and then curveball 20, and then change up 10.
So while velocity has followed the same trends as Major League and collegiate baseball at the high school level, it seems the development of the pitch mix takes place for most pitchers when they get to college.
As expected, the evolution of pitching has greatly impacted how high school baseball coaches, programs, and players are developing, even right here in our own backyard. As new technologies and analytics continue to develop, it'll be interesting to see how pitching continues to evolve. Back to you, Jaden.
Thanks, Bridget. Later, an area that has only one lacrosse team has been on the rise the last several years and is sending their first player off to a Division I school. Plus, 10 Bulldogs made the trip to Indianapolis for the biggest job interviews of their life. We'll have more on that in a bit. Welcome back to Sportsource. Baseball season is underway here in Athens, and after a disappointing fall in the playoffs last year, head coach Wes Johnston and the Bulldogs looked to the transfer portal for some key additions to build on players such as Georgia star Trey Phelps. Phelps was one of college baseball's best last season, owning a .318 batting average with 10 long balls. Sportsource reporter Nick Erickson caught up with Phelps following a doubleheader sweep on Saturday.
Jaden, junior Trey Phelps has been one of the top dogs for some time now, and since playing with Team USA's collegiate team in 2024, he has been turning heads around the NCAA. Although he played well enough to go to the MLB draft last season, Phelps decided to stay with Georgia for his junior year. The Dogs are currently 11-3 to start the 2026 season, and Phelps currently has a batting average of .429. I got the chance to catch up with star third baseman following Saturday's doubleheader sweep against Oakland regarding the success the team has found as of recent.
Trey, 9-2, you guys are going off a very strong start to the season. What do you attribute your guys' success to?
Just the level of focus, especially on the wins. I feel like that's just the difference in our wins and losses, kind of the level of focus we have as a team.
Mm-hmm. You personally find success so far this season, reaching 25 straight games. Is that something you think about or just more tune that out?
Yeah, no, my goal is just being able to win as many ABs as possible in a row. So I can get one at bat, and then we win one at bat, then move on to the next one, lose that at bat, then move on to the next one, and win the next one. So just being able to win as many as bats as possible. In my eyes, just being able to take balls that are right off the plate and being able to hammer balls that are over the plate for sure.
Mm-hmm. So you had a great 2025 season, could have gone to the draft. You decided to stay. What have you worked on to better yourself during the offseason for the season?
Yeah, just polish and also a heightened level of focus, being able to know that certain pitches are going to be I'm getting myself out, or certain things in the field are going to be like I can just do that tiny bit better, so I can make things a little bit easier for myself. So yeah, being able to come back and be in the position I am now is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Lots of transfer guys coming in this season. How has that affected your guys' play?
Good. I mean, just being able to have different personalities and have different people bring different things to the game, different tools. Like you have Ryan Wynn right here, he goes oppo, but he also has poolside pop, where you have a guy like Bryce Callaway who went poolside 108 today. So it's just being able to have guys with just different personalities and bring different tools to a winning team is a winning environment for sure.
Mm-hmm. And Volchko's been a great guy for you guys, 3 wins under his belt already. How important is it to have a guy like that on the mound?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Definitely have the same level of belief in all the guys, but knowing when you have a guy like that, knowing you can go out from a hitter's standpoint, knowing you're going to have a little bit of run support already before you have to play any defense is definitely a plus. So being able to you're a little bit more comfortable putting runs up when you have a guy like that on the mound for sure.
Georgia will get its first taste of SEC play beginning exactly 1 week from today in Athens. And in order for the Bulldogs to start strong in their conference, Trey Phelps will have to do Trey Phelps things. Back to you, Jaden.
Thanks, Nick. Hopefully Trey Phelps can continue to stay hot. Next, we will take a deep dive into the life of a small private school's first Division I lacrosse commit. And later, Sportsource's Harris Arena was on the scene in Indianapolis, and Georgia football once again took over Indianapolis for the NFL Scouting Combine. Don't go away. Welcome back to Sportsource. Lacrosse season has just begun to start up at the high school level. At George Walton Academy, a small private school in Monroe, Georgia, with about 300 students, lacrosse has been on the rise for the past several years and are looking ahead to another dominant season and to start out their fourth straight GAIA Lacrosse State Championship. Sportsource reporter Ren Grimsley recently visited George Walton to find out more. Ren?
Thanks, Jaden. George Walton Academy would be considered 1A private school in the GHSA, yet in lacrosse they go out and compete with the largest high schools in the state. One player in particular, Tydrell Ansley, has helped shape the program to be what it is today. Now, Tydrell sees the payoff for all of his hard work as he becomes the first ever Division I commit in program history. George Walton Academy, a small private school in Monroe, Georgia, began their lacrosse program in 2019. After a rocky start with only one win in their first 2 seasons, the Bulldogs have won 25 in the past 2. Tydrell Ansley, who transferred to George Walton in great part because of the lacrosse program, is making history as the first Division I commit in program history. Tydrell is committed to Bellarmine University in Louisville, Kentucky. He says he has been scouted by Bellarmine's head coach Andy Whitley for a while.
So Coach Andy came to a couple of camps we had at 91, and he would talk to me there, influence, and then around my junior year, late in my junior year actually, he reached out to me, asked me about visits.
Tydrell has a lot he is looking forward to at Bellarmine.
I just like the culture they build, and it's not too far away from home. Coach Andy's a great coach, and the guys, they all loved it.
However, as he looks forward to his next adventure, he looks back at his time at George Walton with pride.
I've probably been the points leader holder and assist. As a midfield, that's pretty hard.
One of the many people who have made an impact on Tydrell is George Walton lacrosse head coach Scott Jackson. Coach Jackson says that Tydrell's ambition on the field stands out.
I would say like his compete level, right? When it's game time and the lights are on, he just competes like his life depends on it.
Tydrell's speed has been a contributing factor to the success of this lacrosse program, allowing transition opportunities on offense that other teams cannot keep up with.
If you ever watched him play, there's just this natural separation that occurs when he's playing at full speed.
Most coaches only get to spend 4 years with their players. However, Coach Jackson has been coaching Tydrell for 8 and has watched him grow throughout his life.
No, just really proud of him, and I can't wait to watch him compete at the next level at Bellarmine.
George Walton has a tough schedule ahead of them this season, but with 3 other college commits, the Bulldogs are looking to break more records and get another winning season. Reporting for the Carmichael Sports Media Institute, I'm Ren Grimsley. Tydrell is a leader both on and off the field. Although he will surely be missed by his teammates and coaches at George Walton, he has left an impact on the program and on the school as a whole. Back to you, Jaden.
Thanks, Ren. It'll be interesting to see how Ansley performs at the next level. After the break, Harris Arena will have more on the 10 Bulldogs who were invited to the NFL Scouting Combine. Don't go away. Welcome back to Sportsource. Another year, another NFL Scouting Combine where Georgia had another batch of Bulldogs meet with teams and work out as part of the NFL draft process. Harrison, you caught up with some of the Bulldogs ahead of their on-field workouts.
That's right, Jaden. 10 Bulldogs made the trip, but only 7 ended up taking part in the on-field workout. However, while this event is known as the biggest job interview of these players' lives, you wouldn't be able to tell from how relaxed the players were when meeting with the media. I spoke with the likes of Colby Young, Dylan Bell, Monroe Freeling, and Brett Thorson, who provided some of the best moments, which included a few stories and even a thumbs down from a former rival.
What's it like as a draft talk? Do you ever hear him practicing games?
Yeah, one time we were in red zone. He threw me a back shoulder fade. Pressure got in his face and he lobbed it up there, and he screamed in the D lineman like boom, and then it was just like the D lineman was like, whoa, like I wasn't expecting that from him, but he was like, I probably would have sacked you. And he was like, no, you wouldn't.
Well, you and Tate bring back your podcast?
Who knows? We'll see. He's lost his mullet right now, so he might not qualify to come back. So we'll have to wait for him to grow it back out.
Just real quick, there's one thing you take away from your time with Coach Smart. What is it? One line, one quote, one moment.
You'll get cut if you don't learn special teams. I'll say that.
I've been working on this whole process. I was lucky enough to do it my whole time. Poor bloke. He's 0-4 over the last few years. So.
What about Brett Thorson?
Brett Thorson, the Australian man. He's so funny, bro.
Talk about Kirby Smart and Mike. What's that like? You gonna miss that?
I'm not gonna miss it, to be honest. I think sometimes it's really funny until he's talking about you. So I think get a chuckle out of it. But for some reason they just turn the volume up as loud as they can, and so sometimes I can't even hear what's going on in the field because he's screaming at the microphone at somebody else, and I'm 2 fields away. So I'm not sure I'm going to miss it too much.
Michael Morris.
Oh yeah, true, bro. He's like a Thanos. Like he's just so strong. Like once he put his hands on you, it's over with. Like
I don't know if I can say that up here, but I think it was just whenever I was hurt. Actually, I was just hurt walking around, and he just started ripping me. He was like, "Bro, why can't you block somebody?" I'm like, "Coach, I'm literally hurt. I'm recovering from my labrum surgery. I can't really do much right now." And honestly, it was just like, all right, like I see how we're doing things, and especially when scouts would come to practice, and he'd just start screaming. It's like, "Scouts, watch, 57 right here. Is he gonna block him?" I'm just like, okay. I mean, honestly, it was just kind of funny. I was like, can this guy just please stop talking?
I'll give you a funny story. I think my freshman and sophomore year, I'm at Newsource, so we doing drills. We got a tackle to do. I'm over there like trying to like basically wrap him up. You got to demonstrate and things like that. I'm going to go run at Thorson. I'm like, dang. But Dick, I almost felt like he almost ran me over, and I wouldn't even go full speed. I said, "Sheesh."
Yeah, Kamari's a dog. I'll sell him out here. He puts whipped cream on ice cream, and that just baffles me. And every time I see him, I question it, but he thinks it's the only way to have ice cream, and I definitely question that. I don't know why you put cream on top of ice cream, but yeah. So give him crap about that. That's terrible choice.
Brett Thorson's time at the podium was up before a follow-up could be asked about his take on whipped cream. However, he and the 9 other Bulldogs will return to Athens at least one more time before the NFL Draft for Georgia's Pro Day on March 16th, which will surely draw a large group of talent evaluators from the NFL. Back to you, Jaden.
Thanks, Harrison. All eyes will be in the upcoming UGA Pro Day as several Bulldogs work to improve their draft stock. That's a wrap on this week's edition of Sportsource. A big thank you to each member of our team who contributed to this week's show. We hope you have a great weekend and are able to enjoy this warm weather.